Okay, so I'm making this video because I just want to cut straight to the chase about what's going on. They have all decided that they want to kill certain people out of the society in America. So the people who are expecting to live on the land in America, they have decided that they're going to decide who gets to live and who gets to die. So there have been a lot of deaths in the media. I don't know exactly what all happened pertaining to that, but being that they did try to murder me, and they have been doing it a lot, and I've been able to see who all is involved, and wondering why black people would not stand up for me. They were doing it too. So they have decided that they are just going to go through the society in America and decide who they want to live and who they want to die. So they are all banding together to murder certain individuals out of the society. And I'm one of the individuals who they have decided that they want to kill, so that I cannot live on the land in America. And they know that we have rights to be able to live here because we were born here. But they wanted our houses, they wanted our kids, they wanted everything to themselves. So they all are banding together to murder certain people out of the society. So I'm going to speak for myself right now about who all are involved. And first of all, what's really pissing me off is the black men. All of the black men in America are trying to secure their own spots in America. So they are trying to help the whites and the Hispanics to murder me off of the land so that they can have all the land and the money and the benefits and everything, because they're not even allowing me to have any medical care. So they have completely tried to disband me as a citizen, and they are trying to kill to do it. So they have been already trying to kill me out of my apartment when I was in my apartment with my child. When my child father was in prison, they were already swarming around my home, and it was black women, Indian women, white women, white men, black men, Hispanic men. And I didn't really know at first what they were trying to do, but I did know that something was seriously wrong. And then they started poisoning our food from the manufacturers, and poisoning our water that was coming into our home. And the military was involved, and they had people, black women in the military, black men in the military, come into Conroe, Texas, and try to murder me in my home with my child. I was afraid to let my baby daddy come back in my house when he was in prison, because I know the system of white supremacy, and I knew that he would be one of the ones who they would want to allow to live because he was white. So regardless of him abusing me and things like that, they did not care, because they were already trying to murder me out of my home. And they have been trying to murder me off of the land since I was a little girl. And when I got into my own apartments, they were always trying to murder me out of my homes. And I don't really understand the magnitude of why they are doing this. But I watch certain movies, like Avatar, and when you got black people, indigenous people, and you got people wanting to come to the land and have it all to themselves. So they are trying to murder me in America, simply because they called me undesirable. They called me one of the ones who was not worthy of life. So all the black women are helping them to try to murder me. And my name is Andrea Jones, so that they can have their spot in America. And the white women are running around and they're trying to go through with these murders. And the black women are getting jobs and houses and cars to just try to be a part of this operation. Well, to be a part of this operation. So they are a part of this operation to have me killed. And I believe they have done this before, as far as going after African American woman, and then all of them are like, okay, we're gonna kill this woman out of her home, and then we're gonna do a satanic death ritual, as far as like a big old funeral for the woman, and then lie and cover up her death as far as how she was actually killed. And it's really sad because they walking around, they dyeing their hair, and the black men is getting blonde on their dreads, and the white people is trying to walk around like, oh, hi, how you doing, like, oh, cool or whatever, while they got these Hispanics and these blacks up to trying to help them murder certain African Americans off of the land. And so they're basically terrorists because they are giving them money and cars and houses simply because they are helping them to murder other African Americans off of the land. And then they're helping them cover it up. So the nurses are involved in all of the hospitals. I'm gonna tell you all the black people who are involved, because I feel like it's more important for my brothers and sisters all over the world who could possibly come here and help us to know what's actually going on. So the African Americans who are working in the hospitals are helping them to commit murders on African Americans. The nurses, the doctors, the black males who are working in the hospital units, they are involved with trying to secure their own spots in America. I'm gonna get down to the lowliest people, but I need to start at the top. The black judges, the black lawyers, the African American judges and lawyers are involved with trying to help these whites and Hispanics and these other nations, because we're all black. So I have to go on our own people who are involved. So they are trying to help the other races of people to murder us off of the land, America. And they are giving them positions as judges and lawyers, and they are helping to murder African American people to secure their homes and their spots and things like that in America. The black police officers, they are all involved. The African American police officers, male and female, they are involved with helping the other races to try to murder us. The blacks, the African Americans who are in the military, in the United States military, they are involved with trying to help them murder us and go through with these operations to kill other African Americans. And this is simply so that the Hispanics can multiply on the land in places where blacks have occupied, and so that whites can occupy land where blacks have occupied. And there are certain benefits that black mothers qualify for, and they do not want to share any of the benefits with black mothers, even medical care, housing. I've never gotten any of that stuff anyway, but they do not want to share any of the benefits in this country with African American mothers unless you are going to be involved with helping them downsize on the numbers of African Americans in the country. So you're not seeing a whole lot of people dying in satanic rituals other than blacks. So I'm not advocating for a lot of black people because I really don't know how they actually died to give the facts. But I'm giving the facts of all the people around me who are trying to do operations to have me outside and who have brought me into their homes trying to help these Caucasian Americans murder me off of the land. And it is the African Americans who they are using to try to get the job done the most. Who else? The blacks in the restaurants, who are all of the blacks who call themselves employed, who call themselves having jobs. The majority, because I believe there are other blacks who they are going after, who are working and employed and who do have benefits, or you could just be paying your own bills or struggling, and you can tell that someone is after you, that people are acting funny around you, giving you a hard time because they're trying to murder us. And they trying to be real slick about it, to where they trying to act normal around us like they're not doing anything, but they're swarming around us and trying to have us murdered, and mainly in facilities, to where they could try to make it seem like, oh, they just disappeared, you never heard from them again. But the majority of African Americans who are employed in America are helping them to try to murder me off of the land, and trying to help them commit murders. And they have money and cars and things like that from the state to secure their own spot in America. So they're not looking at this like, oh, we're one race of people. They're looking at the dollar bill like, okay, we're one nation under the dollar bill. So they're like, okay, we're not standing together as black people unless you're a terrorist like them. Another thing is a lot of blacks who they are bringing out of these jails. They have a lot of charges to where they will have to go away for a very long time. Manufacturing, delivering, gun violence charges, pedophilia charges. Charges to where they would have to go sit down in prison for at least 8 to 10 years. And they are letting them out of prison, the ones who are doing life sentences, to help them murder African Americans when they get out. And they are also allowing them to get charges reduced or dropped to help them murder me and to murder other African Americans on the land. I know that this seems like it's far-fetched, but this is how they are trying to go through with this. So universities. A lot of the African American women in the universities and African American men who are going to these colleges and universities, they are involved with trying to help the whites and the Hispanics and the other races of people to murder African Americans off of the land. And this is securing them housing, and this is securing them homes for them and their children, and this is securing them cars and bank accounts, by simply helping them to commit murders. Also, the celebrities, the African American celebrities are involved. A lot of them have come out personally to Texas to try to help them murder me specifically, because I shot a gun. And so, they have been trying to stage all kind of things around me to murder me off of the land. I've never been to any other country in my life. I know that the United States has a lot of U.S. territory. And it's a lot of people coming here to the United States from other nations, and they are getting involved with trying to help the whites and the Hispanics to murder us off of the land. It's a lot of African American drug dealers who are involved with trying to help them murder blacks off of the land. It's teenagers involved, gang members. They are involving children in these operations, young teenagers who are still in high school, to try to help them murder African Americans off of the land. Now, this is very serious because the only thing you really have to do to join this hate group and these murderers is simply denounce Jesus Christ and Jehovah, because Jehovah stands for righteousness. Jesus Christ stands for righteousness. And we know that God loves us all regardless of our race. And we know that God is for all of us to live wherever it is where we were born and to have rights. So they have to denounce Jehovah. Now, they'll go around talking about Jesus, but Jehovah is God, and he was the one who went into Mary and put his spirit in Jesus, and he was God on earth as the Son of God. But they are having them denounce God, period. They are having them denounce Jehovah, or not accept Jesus Christ as the Son of God, which is denouncing his son, and you're denouncing him in so many words if you're denouncing Jesus Christ while still trying to claim Jehovah. So they are denouncing God, and that's the only thing that you have to do to be a part of this terrorist group, which is made up of whites, Hispanics, other races, and the select handful of African Americans who they are employing in the military, in the establishments, and in the medical facilities and the correctional facilities. They are all denouncing Jehovah and deciding that, okay, we know they're murdering an innocent black person in that cell and we're going to help them do it. Or we know that they're murdering innocent black people in their homes and we're going to help them do it so that we can have money and cars and save ourselves. Because I guess they were going to try to come against all of us. All of the other races were going to try to come against all of the African Americans, and they just decided to join in to save themselves. So these other races had already made up their minds that they were going to try to murder all of the African Americans off of the land. So then they gave other blacks the opportunity to join them and to help them, offering them money and homes and benefits if they will help them to try to murder the other African Americans off the land. And it is a lot of black women that are involved. It is a lot of treacherous, disgusting black women. It is a lot of beautiful black women, a lot of young ones, a lot of black women who hold very high positions. So they pretty much shut everything down and rehired a bunch of murderers and terrorists in all of these societies. And they are very good at pretending like they care about black people by showing love to the black terrorists that are helping them while terrorizing the rest of us. And then trying to hide like they're not doing anything. And the black men are walking around and they got their little mask on, and then they're coming around trying to terrorize me as part of this operation. And they know that I'm telling what's going on, and they're very angry at me, and they're very hostile towards me, and they are really ashamed, to themselves for being a part of this, because it's very scary when you have all of these other races who are saying, oh, we're going to target all of the African Americans in the United States and murder them. And so they have just joined in. you know, like the money and the perks of what they're able to have. I'm sitting here outside, pregnant in the cold, being denied medical care and shelter. And this is what they wanted to do to all African Americans. And then have us out there with all of these racists, these other races of people swarming around us with their riches and terrorizing us. So what they're doing is they're just joining them to help them kill African Americans off of the land, and then they're getting along with the other races by doing that. So this is what's going on.